Today, more than ever, we're surrounded by opinions and judgments, whether from social media, our workplaces, or our personal circles. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the barrage of criticism that seems to follow you around? It's not just you. In an age where everyone has a platform, the ability to navigate criticism with grace and resilience is more important than ever. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This timeless wisdom from Stoicism offers us a powerful toolkit for handling criticism. Imagine being able to distance yourself from negative judgments and maintain your peace of mind no matter the circumstances. By embracing Stoic principles like cognitive distancing and resilience, we can learn to master our responses and thrive in a world filled with constant scrutiny. Let's explore how these ancient teachings can empower us to turn criticism into an opportunity for growth and strength. Criticism is a complex and multifaceted concept, often considered both an art and a science. At its core, criticism involves assessing and responding to the behavior or ideas of others. It can range from constructive feedback aimed at growth to harsh judgments that might feel more like personal attacks. But why do people criticize? What drives someone to offer their opinions, whether solicited or not? The reasons are varied. Some genuinely want to help you improve, while others may be projecting their insecurities or biases. In Stoic philosophy, these motivations are viewed through a distinctive lens. The Stoics, ancient philosophers from Greece and Rome, approached criticism with a mindset that remains strikingly relevant today. For them, criticism often revealed more about the critic than the criticized. Seneca, one of the most prominent Stoics, famously observed that we are all fallible. He wrote, "It is the power of a great mind to despise injuries," highlighting our capacity to rise above unwarranted criticism. When someone criticizes, it is frequently a reflection of their inner world, a projection of their values, frustrations, or misunderstandings rather than an objective truth about you. To further understand this, let's journey back to ancient times. Consider the bustling streets of Rome where ideas clashed as frequently as swords. Philosophers debated openly, often critiquing each other's work with fervor. In this environment, Stoics like Seneca learned to navigate criticism with equanimity. They recognized that not every critique was rooted in truth or insight. Instead, they focused on controlling their responses, choosing not to let others' opinions disrupt their inner peace. Fast forward to today, and we find ourselves similarly immersed in a sea of opinions, amplified by social media and rapidly evolving communication technologies. Criticism seems omnipresent, whether we're scrolling through comments or engaging in discussions. Yet, the Stoic perspective offers us a timeless strategy for handling this reality. By understanding that criticism often mirrors the critic's perceptions and biases, we can detach emotionally, evaluating feedback with a clear, rational mind. This doesn't mean disregarding all criticism. On the contrary, valuable insights can be extracted from even the harshest comments, but the key lies in discerning which feedback holds genuine merit. To illustrate, think about receiving feedback at work. If a colleague points out an oversight, consider their intention. Are they trying to help you succeed, or are they venting their frustrations? By viewing criticism as a potential mirror reflecting the critic's state of mind, you gain the freedom to choose your response. This ability to choose is empowering, enabling you to rise above the immediate sting of critique. Moreover, Seneca's insight into human fallibility reminds us that just as we are prone to errors, so too are those who criticize us. By approaching criticism with humility, acknowledging our own imperfections, we can maintain a balanced and resilient outlook. This approach fosters a growth mindset where each piece of feedback is an opportunity to learn and improve, rather than a personal affront. In summary, understanding criticism through the Stoic lens allows us to see beyond the surface. It teaches us to recognize the motivations behind critiques while maintaining our composure and self-awareness. By reframing criticism as a reflection of the critic, we can transform potentially negative experiences into powerful learning opportunities, strengthening our resilience and clarity in the process. How often do you find your mood swayed by someone else's opinion? Perhaps a casual remark from a friend or a critical comment on social media lingers in your mind, affecting your day. This emotional turbulence is a common human experience, but it doesn't have to be inevitable. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to the emotional roller coaster that external opinions can trigger: cognitive detachment. Cognitive detachment is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, a practice of mentally disentangling ourselves from others' judgments. It involves recognizing that while we cannot control others' thoughts or words, we have complete authority over how we choose to internalize and react to them. This principle is beautifully encapsulated in the teachings of Epictetus, a notable Stoic philosopher. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple yet profound insight underlines the importance of focusing on our inner responses rather than the external stimuli we encounter. At the heart of cognitive detachment lies the understanding of control, or rather, the limited scope of it. Stoics teach that we should direct our energy towards things within our control, such as our thoughts, emotions, and responses, while accepting that we cannot dictate how others perceive or speak about us. By concentrating on our inner world, we can cultivate resilience and maintain a sense of inner peace, regardless of external opinions. Consider the modern arena of social media, where opinions are abundant and often unsolicited. Every post, tweet, or photo can invite a flurry of reactions, from appreciation to criticism. In such a landscape, cognitive detachment becomes an invaluable skill. Instead of becoming ensnared in the web of likes and comments, Stoicism invites us to view these interactions through a detached lens. For instance, if a social media post garners criticism, rather than spiraling into self-doubt or anger, we can pause and assess the situation with clarity. Is this feedback worthwhile, or is it merely noise? By distancing ourselves from the emotional impact of such comments, we regain control over our mood and self-perception. Practical steps to foster this detachment include mindful breathing or reflection practices, which help center the mind amidst external chaos. Journaling is another effective tool. Writing down our thoughts and feelings about criticism helps in objectively analyzing and processing them. Over time, these practices build a buffer that shields us from being overly invested in external validation or critique. Moreover, embracing cognitive detachment empowers us to live more authentically, guided by our values and principles instead of being swayed by societal expectations or fleeting opinions. Epictetus again wisely advised, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This quote encourages us to remain steadfast on our chosen path, even when misunderstood or criticized by others. Ultimately, developing cognitive detachment, as the Stoics suggest, is not about indifference but rather about discerning what truly deserves our emotional energy. It's about choosing to focus on our response and maintaining our tranquility in a world of fluctuating opinions. By integrating this Stoic principle into our daily lives, we can master the art of inner freedom, engaging with the world on our terms while preserving our peace of mind. Imagine judgments as the ever-changing weather. Sometimes it's sunny, other times it's stormy, and often it's something in between. Just as we cannot control the weather, we cannot govern the judgments others cast upon us. This Stoic perspective, deeply rooted in their philosophy, sees judgment not as a personal failure but as an external event, something outside our control, much like the clouds and rain. To understand this concept more deeply, let's turn to Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a prominent Stoic philosopher. In his Meditations, which are essentially his journal entries reflecting on Stoic principles, Marcus frequently contemplates the nature of judgment and its place in our lives. One of his key teachings is the idea of accepting what we cannot change. He writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This highlights the Stoic dichotomy between what lies within us, like our thoughts and emotions, and what lies outside us, such as others' opinions and actions. What does this mean in practical terms? It means recognizing that when someone passes judgment on us, it's not necessarily a reflection of our worth or failure. Instead, it's an external occurrence, much like a passing storm. Just as you would not blame yourself for a rainy day, you should not internalize others' judgments as truths about who you are. This mindset not only alleviates unnecessary stress, but also empowers you to maintain your inner peace amidst external chaos. Consider a scenario at work where a colleague harshly criticizes your performance. The initial response might be to take it personally, allowing it to affect your confidence and mood. However, by applying the Stoic principle of viewing judgment as an external event, you can step back and assess the situation more objectively. Is this judgment coming from a place of constructive criticism, or is it simply a projection of your colleague's stress or insecurities? By identifying it as external, you liberate yourself from the emotional turmoil it might otherwise cause. Moreover, this understanding allows for a more compassionate perspective towards others, recognizing that judgments often reflect the internal struggles of the one who judges can foster empathy. Rather than responding defensively, you might choose to engage in a constructive dialogue, addressing any valid points while discarding baseless negativity. Marcus Aurelius's teachings remind us that our inner domain, what we think, feel, and choose to believe, is where our power truly lies. By focusing on this internal world and accepting judgment as a mere external event akin to weather, we can navigate life's uncertainties with grace and resilience. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback or dismissing all judgment, but rather cultivating the discernment to understand its true nature and impact. To practice this perspective in everyday life, begin by observing your reactions to judgments. When someone criticizes or judges you, pause and reflect on whether these judgments genuinely reflect your reality or are merely external disturbances. This pause allows you to respond with clarity and purpose rather than react impulsively. In conclusion, by adopting the Stoic view that judgments are external events, we can reclaim our peace of mind and fortify our emotional resilience. Like weather, judgments come and go, but the strength of our inner calm can remain constant if we choose to focus on what lies within our control. This Stoic wisdom offers a pathway to serenity in the face of life's unpredictable storms. Judgment and criticism are as inevitable in life as the sunrise. No matter where we go or what we do, there will always be opinions, both solicited and unsolicited, cast in our direction. This reality can seem daunting, but within it lies an opportunity, the chance to cultivate resilience. In Stoicism, resilience is not just an admirable trait. It is a core virtue that empowers us to endure criticism with grace and poise. Resilience, from a Stoic perspective, is about maintaining our equilibrium in the face of adversity. It involves developing a robust mindset that doesn't crumble under the weight of harsh words or unjust judgments. The Stoics teach us that while we cannot control the opinions of others, we can control our responses to them, and it is within these responses that our resilience is forged. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, offers profound insights into the nature of resilience. He reminds us that challenges and criticisms are important teachers. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Seneca writes, highlighting the notion that enduring life's trials can fortify our mental and emotional fortitude. By viewing hardships, including criticism, as opportunities for growth, we transform what might otherwise be a source of distress into a means of personal development. This Stoic concept of resilience resonates deeply with many modern self-help narratives that emphasize the power of perseverance and mental toughness. Today, resilience is often discussed in terms of bouncing back from setbacks, adapting to change, and maintaining a positive outlook even in the face of negativity. Stoicism, however, adds an additional layer by framing resilience as a conscious choice to maintain inner peace and clarity, regardless of external circumstances. Let's explore how this plays out in everyday life with an example. Imagine you're an artist and you've recently held an exhibition of your work. Among the praise and admiration, you also encounter criticism. Perhaps some reviews are harsh or dismissive. A resilient Stoic mindset would allow you to absorb the constructive feedback and learn from it while letting the unfounded negativity pass by without affecting your self-worth. Rather than succumbing to self-doubt, you'd focus on your passion for creating art, guided by your values and intrinsic motivations. Moreover, resilience in Stoicism is not about Stoic resignation but an active engagement with life. It's about choosing to see criticism as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. This mindset encourages us to focus on our aspirations and goals, undeterred by external judgments. We become like a sturdy oak tree, standing firm and unwavering even as the winds of judgment blow. It's also crucial to remember that resilience is not a solitary journey. The Stoics advocated for building a supportive community where open dialogue and shared wisdom create a nurturing environment for personal growth. By surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals who offer constructive feedback and encouragement, we strengthen our resilience and keep our focus on what truly matters. In conclusion, developing resilience through Stoicism equips us to handle criticism with a calm and composed spirit. It's about cultivating an inner strength that enables us to navigate life's ups and downs without losing sight of our core values and goals. Seneca's wisdom teaches us that challenges and judgments, no matter how daunting, can be transformed into catalysts for growth and self-discovery. By embracing this resilient mindset, we harness the power to thrive amidst life's inevitable tests and emerge stronger, more aligned with our true selves. Picture the bustling streets of ancient Rome, where philosophers, merchants, and citizens mingle in daily life. Amidst this vibrant city, imagine a scene where Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, is teaching his students. One day, a passerby interrupts, hurling insults at Epictetus, mocking his philosophy and appearance. Instead of reacting with anger or hurt, Epictetus remains calm, unfazed by the harsh words, demonstrating a profound Stoic principle: indifference to external praise or blame. This anecdote beautifully illustrates the power of indifference, a cornerstone of Stoic thought. To the Stoics, true power and freedom come from the ability to remain indifferent to external validation. They believed that neither praise nor criticism should dictate our self-worth or happiness. In Epictetus's teachings, this indifference is not about being emotionless or detached from life. Instead, it is a conscious choice to focus on what truly matters: our character and inner virtues. Epictetus famously taught that while we cannot control how others perceive us, we can control how we view ourselves and our actions. He often emphasized that external opinions are fleeting and should not hold sway over our internal state. He said, "If you wish to improve, you must be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This insight captures the essence of Stoic indifference, a willingness to prioritize personal growth and integrity over the ephemeral approval of others. To explore this further, consider the example of a professional athlete. In today's sports arena, athletes often face intense scrutiny and unsolicited praise. A Stoic athlete embodying Epictetus's principle would appreciate positive feedback but not rely on it for self-esteem. Similarly, they would acknowledge criticism, using it to refine their skills without letting it undermine their confidence or passion for the game. This mindset allows them to remain focused on their intrinsic goals, driven by their love for the sport rather than the fluctuating opinions of fans or critics. Another compelling aspect of Stoic indifference is its role in fostering resilience. By not hinging our self-worth on external judgments, we build an inner fortress of stability and peace. This resilience fortifies us against disappointments and setbacks, empowering us to pursue our paths with courage and clarity. Living with indifference to external validation does not mean neglecting feedback or isolating ourselves from community input. The Stoics valued constructive criticism as a tool for growth. However, they advocated for a discerning approach where we filter feedback through the lens of our values and goals. By doing so, we distinguish between noise and valuable insights, allowing us to grow without being swayed by every opinion we encounter. Furthermore, embracing indifference frees us to live more authentically. When we are not preoccupied with pleasing others or fearing their disapproval, we can pursue our true desires and passions unencumbered by the need for acceptance. This authenticity aligns with the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature, where our actions reflect our true selves rather than external expectations. In conclusion, the Stoic power of indifference is a liberating force, guiding us to prioritize our internal virtues over external praise or blame. By embracing this indifference, as Epictetus and other Stoic figures have taught, we cultivate an inner strength that allows us to navigate life's complexities with grace and confidence. This approach not only nurtures our well-being, but also empowers us to live a life true to our values and aspirations, unshaken by the ever-changing tides of public opinion. Imagine you're sitting at your desk after a long day at work. You've just received an email from your manager filled with pointed criticisms about your recent project. Your heart sinks as you scroll through the feedback, each word feeling like a small puncture to your self-esteem. It's a situation most of us have faced at some point, stinging criticism that threatens to cloud our mental clarity and peace. But instead of being swept away by these emotions, how can we practice Stoic detachment to maintain our equilibrium? Stoic detachment, as taught by philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, offers us practical tools to navigate such moments with grace. The key is to foster a state of mind that allows criticism to inform but not define us. Let's explore how this ancient wisdom can be applied to modern scenarios, like receiving negative feedback at work. First, pause and breathe. In any situation that provokes a strong emotional response, Marcus Aurelius advises taking a moment to breathe and collect oneself. This creates a mental space where you can assess your initial emotional reactions without acting on them impulsively. By pausing, you prevent yourself from spiraling into defensiveness or self-doubt. Next, employ cognitive distancing, a method Marcus Aurelius championed in his Meditations. Ask yourself, what is truly within my control here? This question helps isolate what you can change, such as your response to feedback, from what you cannot, like your manager's opinion. Understanding this distinction allows you to redirect your energy towards constructive actions. Then, reflect on the feedback objectively. Imagine that you are a friend or an uninvolved observer reading the same email. What insights would you glean if you weren't emotionally invested? This technique helps shift your perspective, allowing you to mine valuable lessons from the feedback without becoming overwhelmed by negativity. Additionally, channel the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, which involves welcoming every experience as part of your personal growth journey. Recognize that every critique, regardless of its tone, can be a stepping stone towards self-improvement. This mindset, inspired by Stoic teachings, encourages resilience and the acceptance of both successes and setbacks as integral parts of life. To integrate these practices into daily life, consider starting a Stoic journal. At the end of each day, jot down instances of criticism you faced, along with your reactions and the Stoic strategies you employed. This habit not only reinforces your detachment skills, but also helps track your progress over time, revealing how your responses evolve. Finally, seek out mindful conversations with trusted colleagues or mentors. Discussing criticism openly can provide new insights and reinforce the Stoic practice of detachment by framing feedback as a shared learning experience rather than an individual burden. Remember, practicing Stoic detachment does not mean dismissing all criticism. It involves carefully evaluating feedback and discerning which elements are actionable. By actively choosing how to respond, you cultivate the inner calm and resilience to thrive amidst challenges. In the end, Stoic detachment is about embracing the power you have over your mind and actions, rather than being swayed by external judgments. It's a practice that, with time and effort, can transform how you perceive and respond to criticism, turning potential setbacks into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. A bustling crowd gathers in the heart of ancient Rome, murmurs and whispers swirling like a light breeze among them. News has spread of a famed Stoic philosopher who is to speak today, and anticipation hangs in the air. But among the eager listeners are those who have come with sharp tongues, ready to challenge and criticize. This is no ordinary day for Seneca, the storied advisor to Emperor Nero and one of Stoicism's most enduring figures. Seneca faces not only external criticism but the weighty expectations of guiding an empire through turbulent times. Seneca, however, is unperturbed. As he steps forward to address the throng, he carries with him the serene composure that Stoicism cultivates. Known for his eloquent writings and deep philosophical insights, Seneca often found himself at the crossroads of public scrutiny and personal integrity. But how did he manage to navigate such scrutiny without losing his balance? The answer lies in his adherence to Stoic principles that emphasize rational thinking and emotional control. One of Seneca's most profound teachings is the concept of premeditation of evils, a practice where one anticipates potential criticisms and challenges as a form of mental preparation. By imagining the worst-case scenarios, Seneca armed himself with foresight, viewing criticism as an inevitable part of life rather than a personal affront. This allowed him to confront public judgment with poise, viewing it as a test of his philosophical resolve. Consider the time when Seneca was accused of conspiring against Nero, a charge that could have easily shattered his reputation. Instead of reacting with despair or outrage, Seneca embraced the Stoic practice of focusing on what lies within his control, his response. He maintained his dignity, defended his stance with reasoned arguments, and relied on the truth of his actions and character to speak for him. His composure amid such severe allegations exemplifies the Stoic ideal of maintaining inner tranquility despite external turmoil. Seneca's life was riddled with complex relationships and political machinations, yet his writings reveal a man who constantly sought to live by the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. In his letters and essays, Seneca often pondered the nature of judgment and criticism, offering advice that resonates through the ages. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. This reflection underscores the importance of perspective, encouraging us to separate our fears and anxieties from the actual challenges we face. Another prominent Stoic, Epictetus, who was once a slave, offers an equally compelling example of handling judgment with equanimity. Epictetus taught that external opinions are like shadows cast by others' perceptions. They have no substance unless we allow them to. His famous assertion, It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about those things emphasizes the transformative power of our thoughts. Epictetus believed that by changing our judgments, we could alter our emotional landscape, remaining serene even when faced with judgment or criticism. Epictetus's life story exemplifies resilience in the face of adversity. Despite his lowly beginnings and the harsh life of servitude, he evolved into one of the most respected philosophers of his time. His ability to detach from the judgments of others, focusing instead on his actions and virtues, allowed him to rise above his circumstances. Both Seneca and Epictetus exemplify how Stoic philosophy equips individuals to handle criticism with grace and wisdom. By focusing on what is within their control, anticipating challenges, and reframing how they perceive judgment, they maintain their composure and integrity even in the face of intense public scrutiny. These historical examples serve as powerful reminders that the principles of Stoicism remain relevant today, offering guidance on how to navigate the complex world of judgments and criticisms with resilience and tranquility. Imagine a young athlete named Alex, passionate about their sport and driven to excel. They train rigorously, leaving no stone unturned in their pursuit of greatness. One day, after a challenging match, their coach approaches them with feedback. The critique is constructive but detailed, pointing out areas where Alex needs improvement. Rather than feeling defeated or defensive, Alex views this moment as a stepping stone for growth, a chance to refine their skills and become better. This mindset, embracing criticism as a catalyst for self-improvement, mirrors a profound Stoic philosophy. Criticism is often perceived negatively, yet the Stoics teach us to view it as a valuable mirror reflecting our virtues and vices. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, provides a timeless perspective on this approach. In his reflections known as Meditations, Marcus encourages us to welcome feedback as a tool for personal growth. He opines that criticism can act as a guide, showing us how we can align more closely with our values and improve our character. For the Stoics, every critique is an opportunity to inspect our actions and motivations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change." It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. This openness to change and willingness to embrace truth is at the heart of Stoic wisdom. By inviting criticism, Marcus believed we could hone our judgment, make informed decisions, and ultimately lead a more virtuous life. Consider Marcus's role as an emperor. In a position where power and authority could easily shield him from critique, he sought it out instead. He surrounded himself with advisors and listened to their perspectives, constantly challenging himself to grow. This willingness to hear others' viewpoints exemplified his commitment to personal development, a quality that remains relevant for leaders today. To apply this Stoic principle to our own lives, we can start by reframing how we perceive criticism. Rather than seeing it as a threat to our ego, we can choose to see it as a teacher. This shift in perspective is not about dismissing all feedback as valid, but about discerning the insights that can aid our journey towards self-betterment. One practical approach is to maintain a journal, a practice Marcus Aurelius himself employed. Record the feedback you receive, along with your thoughts and emotions surrounding it. Reflect on these entries periodically to identify patterns and areas for improvement. This practice promotes introspection and allows you to track your personal growth over time. Another useful method is to actively seek constructive criticism from trusted peers or mentors who understand your goals and values. Engaging in open dialogues helps broaden your perspective and can provide insights you might have overlooked. Embrace this feedback as a means to evolve, not just in skill or knowledge, but in character and wisdom. Furthermore, approach criticism with a mindset of gratitude. Recognize that those who offer honest feedback are providing you with a gift, the chance to see yourself from another's perspective. This gratitude fosters a sense of humility, crucial for growth, and aligns with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature, which includes our interactions with others. Ultimately, by viewing criticism as a tool for growth, we adopt a Stoic mindset that prioritizes truth and improvement over comfort and complacency. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that embracing criticism with an open heart and mind can lead to profound personal transformation, guiding us towards a life of virtue and fulfillment. Through this lens, every critique becomes a stepping stone, propelling us forward on our path to becoming the best version of ourselves. In our journey through life, the lens through which we perceive events significantly shapes our experience. Much like a camera can change a scene with a simple shift in focus, our perspective on criticism can transform its emotional impact. This idea of perspective shifts is not just a modern psychological insight. It's a core principle of Stoic philosophy, beautifully articulated by Epictetus. Epictetus, once a slave who rose to become a prominent Stoic philosopher, taught that our perceptions dictate our reality. He famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." This suggests that it is not the criticism itself that affects us, but our interpretation of it. By reframing how we view criticism, we can alter its effect on our emotions and well-being. Imagine receiving a harsh critique on a project you poured your heart into. The initial reaction might be defensiveness or discouragement, driven by a perception of failure. However, by applying a Stoic reframing technique, you can reinterpret this feedback as a valuable opportunity for growth. Instead of viewing the criticism as a personal attack, you can see it as a chance to refine your skills and understanding. This reframing transforms what could be a negative experience into a constructive one. Consider how this reframing process works. Start by acknowledging the emotional response triggered by criticism. Epictetus taught that the first step is awareness, recognizing the initial stirrings of anger, hurt, or disappointment. Once aware, we can consciously shift our interpretation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How does this feedback align with my goals and values? Such questions help detach the emotional charge and redirect focus to personal growth. A practical example of reframing can be seen in the world of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs often face rejection, whether it's from potential investors or customers. A Stoic entrepreneur, through the lens of Epictetus's teachings, would view each rejection not as a setback but as informative data, insights that reveal market needs or areas for improvement. By reframing rejection as part of a learning process, they maintain motivation and resilience, ultimately driving innovation and success. Reframing criticism through a Stoic lens also involves embracing humility. Acknowledging that we have room for improvement fosters a mindset open to learning. As Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This humility allows us to let go of ego-driven defensiveness, enabling us to accept criticism gracefully and use it to our advantage. Moreover, reframing doesn't mean ignoring emotions or pretending criticism doesn't affect us. Instead, it empowers us to choose constructive responses. It involves accepting the emotion, understanding its origin, and then consciously deciding how to proceed. Through this process, we cultivate emotional intelligence, a key component in personal and professional development. To practice this reframing technique, consider maintaining a perspective journal. Each time you encounter criticism, document your initial reaction and the reframed perspective you choose. Reflect on how this shift affects your emotional response and decision-making. Over time, this practice can strengthen your ability to reframe challenges naturally. In conclusion, embracing the Stoic art of reframing criticism transforms how we engage with the world. By shifting our perspective, as Epictetus teaches, we alter the emotional impact of criticism, turning potential obstacles into stepping stones. This not only enhances our resilience and adaptability, but also leads us toward a more fulfilling and enriched life. Through the power of perspective, we learn to navigate life's criticisms with wisdom and grace, embodying the Stoic virtue of equanimity regardless of external judgments. Imagine two circles. One is labeled control, while the other is marked concern. The circle of control contains everything over which you have direct influence, your thoughts, actions, and decisions. This is your domain where your power truly resides. The circle of concern, however, encompasses things that matter to you but are beyond your direct control: other people's opinions, the weather, and global events. These outer elements can touch and inform your life but remain outside your command. This metaphor of circles serves as an elegant illustration of a central Stoic principle: the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. The Stoics teach us to focus our attention and energy exclusively within the circle of control. Doing so helps us maintain serenity and effectiveness in our lives, unburdened by the chaos and unpredictability of external forces. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, encapsulated this wisdom succinctly in his Meditations: "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus's quote underscores a profound truth: the source of true strength lies in cultivating mastery over our internal world. When we misallocate our energy towards the circle of concern, we succumb to frustration and anxiety, chasing shadows that are ever-changing and beyond our reach. The Stoic approach is to withdraw our emotional investment from these concerns, allowing us to redirect our focus towards what can genuinely affect change: our thoughts, choices, and reactions. Consider a challenging scenario preparing for a job interview. The outcome, of course, falls within the circle of concern. You can't control the interviewer's preferences or the company's decision. However, within your circle of control lies your preparation, your mindset, how you choose to present yourself, and how you respond to questions. Concentrating on these controllable aspects not only enhances your performance, but also boosts your confidence and reduces anxiety, regardless of the result. The clarity gained from distinguishing between these circles also aids in emotional resilience. In personal relationships, for instance, one might be tempted to try and change a partner's behavior or feelings, an effort situated squarely in the circle of concern. A Stoic would choose instead to focus on their own reactions and contributions to the relationship, knowing that genuine change begins within. By accepting that we cannot dictate others' emotions or actions, we liberate ourselves from unnecessary stress and heartache and instead foster healthier, more autonomous relationships. Moreover, this Stoic discipline of focusing on internal control cultivates virtues like patience, humility, and wisdom. It encourages us to reflect on our values and how we live by them, promoting personal growth. Embracing the mantra to focus on what we can control helps us navigate life's vicissitudes with grace and adaptability. Practically, this Stoic principle can be implemented through mindfulness practices and reflective journaling. Begin your day with a brief meditation, mentally delineating your circles of control and concern. Acknowledge the concerns you hold, then gently shift your focus to what lies within your control today. At day's end, journal about how you directed your energy, celebrating even small victories in self-control and learning from moments when concern took precedence. In embracing the Stoic wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, the path to inner strength becomes clear. By dedicating ourselves to what lies within our control, we uncover a reservoir of resilience, purpose, and tranquility, guided by the steady realization that true power resides in our capacity to shape our own minds and lives. Have you ever wished you had an invisible suit of emotional armor, something to shield you from the slings and arrows of life's challenges? Stoicism offers us just that, a guide to building emotional resilience that acts like armor for the soul. But how do we cultivate this resilience? It's not a switch we can flip overnight, but rather a gradual and deliberate process of self-mastery. One of the great Stoic philosophers, Seneca, provides profound insights into this journey of building emotional resilience. He teaches that emotional resilience isn't about being unfeeling or invulnerable, but about developing the strength to navigate emotions with wisdom and control. In his letters and essays, Seneca frequently writes about the importance of mastering one's emotions to achieve a tranquil and empowered life. To begin building this resilience, Seneca encourages us to understand our emotional triggers. Recognizing what stirs our emotions, whether it's criticism, disappointment, or unexpected adversity, allows us to respond rather than react. Seneca advises, if you wish to be loved, love. This reflects the idea that through understanding and self-reflection, we can transform our emotional responses into constructive actions. Consider the analogy of a ship at sea. A skilled sailor doesn't curse the storm. Instead, they adjust the sails and navigate the turbulent waters with a steady hand. Similarly, emotional resilience in Stoicism is about adjusting our internal sails, our perceptions and reactions when facing life's storms. By doing so, we maintain our course towards inner peace and fulfillment. A key practice in fostering this emotional mastery is the Stoic exercise of premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. This involves mentally preparing for potential difficulties and setbacks. By envisaging these challenges before they occur, we diminish their power to surprise or overwhelm us when they do arise. It's akin to strengthening your emotional armor through repeated, mindful exposure to controlled adversity. Moreover, Seneca emphasizes the importance of cultivating virtues such as patience, courage, and wisdom as foundations for emotional resilience. He believed that living virtuously aligns us with nature's inherent order, leading to a more harmonious life. For instance, when faced with a frustrating situation, patience allows us to pause and reflect before acting, instead of succumbing to immediate emotional impulses. Incorporating mindfulness into daily life also plays a crucial role in building emotional resilience. Mindfulness practices such as meditation or reflective journaling help anchor us in the present moment. They offer a space to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, providing clarity on how to proceed with intention and composure. Additionally, surrounding ourselves with a supportive community of like-minded individuals can enhance our emotional resilience. Seneca cherished friendships that encouraged philosophical growth, allowing for open dialogue and shared wisdom. By engaging with others who share similar values, we create a network of support that reinforces our resilience. Ultimately, the process of building emotional resilience through Stoicism is about gradual self-improvement. It's about practicing self-awareness, cultivating virtues, and adopting tools like premeditatio malorum and mindfulness to guide our emotional journey. This resilience doesn't make us impervious to life's challenges, but it empowers us to face them with courage and clarity. In embracing Seneca's teachings, we learn to weave a flexible yet sturdy emotional armor, one that adapts with us as we grow. This resilience becomes our steadfast companion, guiding us through the unpredictable tides of life while keeping our inner peace intact. Through the lens of Stoicism, emotional mastery is not just a philosophical ideal but a practical guide to living with grace and strength. In a world where reactions often precede reason, the Stoic strategy of pausing before responding emerges as a timeless beacon of wisdom. Imagine being in the midst of a heated conversation. Emotions run high, words are exchanged quickly, and before you know it, you've said something you regret. How many times have we wished we could rewind such moments and choose silence over a hasty reaction? This is where the Stoic principle of self-reflection shines. Epictetus, a key figure in Stoic philosophy, championed the idea of self-reflection as a means to master our reactions. He advised, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This teaches us that our power lies not in changing external events, but in governing our inner responses. By choosing to pause and reflect, we create a space for intention to precede action. This moment of pause is not just about silence, it's about harnessing the power of reflection to determine the most appropriate course. When faced with criticism, the immediate urge might be to defend, retaliate, or explain. Yet, a Stoic would advise taking a step back to evaluate the situation. What is the intent behind the words? What truths, if any, do they hold? How do they affect your goals and values? Through reflection, you gain clarity, allowing you to respond with wisdom rather than impulse. Picture an artist exhibiting their work, receiving both praise and criticism. The instinct might be to react emotionally to both, but by practicing self-reflection, the artist can sift through the noise. Praise and criticism are then seen not as personal judgments, but as valuable inputs. Self-reflection allows the artist to internalize constructive feedback for improvement while dismissing unfounded negativity. This practice of reflection before reaction is akin to a warrior pausing before engaging in battle. It's about gathering information, understanding the terrain, and choosing a strategy that aligns with one's principles. In daily life, this translates to asking yourself, what outcome am I seeking? How can my response reflect my values? Self-reflection also plays a crucial role in personal growth. It involves a deeper inquiry into why certain criticisms trigger emotional reactions. Is it touching on a personal insecurity or a past failure? By understanding these triggers, we gain insights into areas for growth and healing. This inner work leads to greater emotional resilience, aligning well with the Stoic pursuit of self-improvement. Incorporating self-reflection into your routine doesn't require monumental changes. It can start with simple practices like daily journaling, where you recount your reactions to the day's events and explore how they aligned with your values. Meditation also offers a structured space to engage in reflection, fostering a mindful approach to handling criticism. Both practices encourage introspection, enabling you to form responses grounded in thoughtfulness. Moreover, developing a habit of self-reflection nurtures empathy. When you reflect before reacting to criticism, you're also able to consider the critic's perspective, understanding their motives and emotional state. This broadens your view, allowing for more compassionate and effective communication. Ultimately, the Stoic strategy of self-reflection before reaction is about maintaining control over one's inner world. In a society that often values quick wit over considered response, embracing this Stoic principle offers a path to authentic and meaningful interactions. By prioritizing reflection over impulsiveness, we align ourselves closer to the Stoic ideals of wisdom, courage, and temperance, leading to a life of profound tranquility and strength. So, the next time you encounter criticism, remember the power of the pause. Reflect, then respond, and watch how it transforms your experience of both the criticism and yourself. Imagine a serene morning in ancient Rome where Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, sits quietly, pen in hand, contemplating the nature of existence. His writings, later collected in Meditations, offer a glimpse into his profound philosophical insights, including the concept of amor fati, or love of fate. One of the most thought-provoking quotes attributed to him is, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This encapsulates the essence of amor fati, embracing everything that happens in life, including obstacles and criticisms, as necessary and beneficial. Amor fati, directly translated as love of one's fate, is a Stoic principle that calls for wholehearted acceptance of all life circumstances, whether perceived as positive or negative. This mindset encourages embracing fate not just with resignation but with an open heart, finding beauty and meaning in every experience. By practicing amor fati, we cultivate a deep appreciation for life's complexities, viewing challenges as integral parts of our journey rather than burdens to bear. When it comes to criticism, amor fati plays a transformative role. Criticism, often seen as a hurdle, can be difficult to accept without fostering resentment or self-doubt. Yet, through the lens of amor fati, criticism becomes an opportunity for introspection and growth. Marcus Aurelius, throughout his reign, faced criticisms and challenges that could have easily led to bitterness. Instead, he chose to see these as necessary parts of his journey, shaping him into a wiser and more resilient leader. For instance, imagine receiving a critical review at work. The initial reaction might be frustration or defensiveness. However, by practicing amor fati, you can reframe this criticism as a vital component of your professional evolution. It becomes a prompt to evaluate your skills, identify areas for improvement, and strengthen your character. Instead of resenting the feedback, you embrace it as a beneficial guide on your path. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that our perception of events shapes our experience more than the events themselves. He understood that every challenge, including criticism, serves a purpose in the grand tapestry of life. By embracing amor fati, we align ourselves with this perspective, accepting that even the harshest words can lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our potential. To implement amor fati in daily life, start by acknowledging your reactions to criticism. Instead of resisting or ignoring the feedback, explore it with curiosity. Ask yourself, what can this teach me? How does this fit into the larger picture of my journey? This practice shifts your focus from resistance to acceptance, transforming criticism from a source of distress into a catalyst for growth. Additionally, cultivating gratitude is integral to amor fati. By appreciating every experience, we foster a mindset that finds value in the full spectrum of life, including its trials. Gratitude helps us recognize that every critique, whether well-intentioned or not, contributes to our development. Incorporating amor fati also involves a commitment to personal resilience. It calls for continually steering our thoughts towards acceptance and love for what is, rather than longing for what could be. By doing so, we develop a sense of peace and empowerment, knowing that we can face any challenge with grace. Ultimately, practicing amor fati invites us to embrace life with open arms, welcoming all that it brings without resentment. It's a powerful Stoic tool that transforms how we perceive and respond to criticism, teaching us to love our fate and the unique journey it offers. Through the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, we learn that loving one's fate is not just about acceptance but about finding joy and purpose in every aspect of our lives, even in the face of critique. Think of judgment as an untapped resource, much like raw materials before they are processed into something valuable. In the realm of Stoicism, judgments aren't just challenges to our self-worth, they are potential assets waiting to be utilized. Imagine this process as an economic transaction where criticism acts as raw currency. When spent wisely, this currency can yield remarkable dividends in the form of personal growth and self-improvement. This unique perspective turns the tables on judgment, inviting us to see it not as a deficit but as an opportunity for gain. Consider for a moment how you might convert criticism into constructive feedback, similar to how a savvy investor turns initial capital into profit. Instead of letting criticism erode your confidence, Stoics urge us to view it as valuable information, akin to market data for the investor. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher and advisor in ancient Rome, offers profound insights into this transformative process. He recognized that not all judgments are equal, but each holds the potential for growth if we are willing to extract its worth. Seneca famously noted, "One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood." This sentiment extends beyond personal relationships to how we interact with criticism. By seeking to understand the intent and content of judgment, we unlock the possibility of gaining self-knowledge and fostering resilience. In Seneca's view, judgment serves as a mirror reflecting areas that might benefit from refinement, urging us to become more aligned with our virtues and aspirations. Picture a scenario where you present an idea at work only to receive critical feedback from your colleagues. The typical response might be to feel disheartened or defensive. However, if you approach this criticism as an economy of growth, it becomes a chance to refine your idea, strengthen your arguments, and enhance your skills. Just as a business considers consumer feedback essential for improvement, you can harness judgment to enhance your intellectual and emotional skill set. Moreover, this Stoic approach aligns with the idea of continuous learning. Viewing judgment as potential gain encourages a mindset where every experience, positive, negative, or neutral, becomes an opportunity to learn and grow. This perspective frames life as a constant learning endeavor, where judgments are teachers and each critique a lesson in self-mastery. Seneca also emphasizes the importance of introspection in this process of conversion. He believed that self-examination is vital in extracting value from judgment. By asking introspective questions like, "What truth does this criticism reveal about my character or actions?" Or, "How can I grow from this feedback?" we transform judgment into a resource for personal enhancement. Importantly, this transformation doesn't mean accepting all criticism as valid. The Stoic practice involves discerning which judgments are rooted in truth and which are merely subjective or biased opinions. Like an astute trader who evaluates the legitimacy of each transaction, a Stoic critically assesses each judgment, discerning which aspects offer genuine value. In conclusion, by shifting our perspective on judgment, we tap into an economy of growth where criticism serves as currency for personal development. Through the wisdom and insights of Seneca, we learn to convert judgments into opportunities for self-improvement, steering our lives towards greater resilience and wisdom. By embracing this Stoic practice, we cultivate a mindset that views life's challenges not as obstacles but as investments in our ongoing journey of becoming the best version of ourselves. Have you ever pondered how to live virtuously when faced with criticism? This question lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes virtue as the bedrock of a harmonious life. The Stoics believed that virtue is our greatest asset in managing criticism, guiding us to react in ways that align with our true character and values. In Stoicism, virtue isn't just a lofty ideal, it's a practical guide for everyday life, especially when navigating judgment. The four cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, provide a framework for determining our responses to criticism. Let's delve into how each virtue plays a role in this process. Wisdom, the first of the cardinal virtues, involves discernment and the ability to see things as they truly are. When criticized, wisdom helps us sift through feedback, identifying what is valuable and what is not. For instance, if a colleague critiques your work, wisdom allows you to evaluate the critique objectively. Is there truth in what they say, and how can it enhance your understanding or performance? This perspective prevents knee-jerk reactions and encourages thoughtful reflection. Courage, another essential Stoic virtue, empowers us to face criticism with strength and resolve. It's not merely about bravery in the face of adversity, but also involves the courage to acknowledge our flaws and make necessary changes. Imagine a scenario where public speaking terrifies you, but you're criticized for not stepping up to lead a presentation. Courage urges you to face the challenge, using the critique as motivation to improve and grow beyond your comfort zone. Justice, the virtue of fairness and moral rightness, guides us to respond to criticism with integrity. It involves treating others fairly, even those who judge us harshly. For example, when receiving unjust criticism, justice encourages us to respond without animosity, choosing to engage with kindness or simply let it go. This approach aligns with the Stoic idea that we can only control our actions, not the actions or opinions of others. Lastly, temperance or moderation teaches us to manage our emotions and maintain balance. It is the virtue that prevents us from overreacting to criticism. When faced with harsh words, temperance helps us remain calm and composed, avoiding extremes of anger or denial. Instead, it nudges us to seek a middle ground, acknowledging the criticism without letting it overwhelm us. A classic Stoic example illustrating these virtues in action is the life of Marcus Aurelius. As a Roman emperor, Marcus frequently faced criticism and opposition. Despite his power, he consistently applied Stoic virtues to remain grounded. His meditations reveal how he used wisdom to discern truth, courage to persist in his duties, justice to govern fairly, and temperance to control his emotions. His virtuous life serves as an enduring testament to the power of virtue in managing criticism. Moreover, living virtuously amid criticism fosters resilience and personal growth. By focusing on virtue, we anchor ourselves to what truly matters: our character. This focus allows us to transform criticism into a pathway for self-improvement, aligning our actions with our highest ideals. In conclusion, in a world where judgments abound, virtue serves as a compass guiding us through the complexities of criticism. By embracing wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we harness criticism as a force for good, shaping our responses in ways that reflect our true self. Through this commitment to virtue, we find not only peace and resilience, but a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment in our lives. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control the judgments of others, we can choose to live virtuously, using criticism as a catalyst for becoming the person we aspire to be. In the cacophony of daily life, decisions about how we respond to situations arise constantly. Picture a scene where someone cuts you off in traffic. The natural reaction might be one of anger or frustration, manifesting in a honk or a muttered word. But within this moment lies an opportunity for a lesson in Stoicism, a chance to choose our response mindfully rather than acting on impulse. This ability to choose, to take a moment of pause and reflect on our response, is one of the most profound powers we possess as human beings. The Stoics, with their keen understanding of human nature, stressed the importance of deliberate choice over impulsive reaction. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This insight underscores the philosophy's fundamental principle. While we cannot control external events, we have complete sovereignty over our internal responses. Epictetus taught that by cultivating awareness of our impulses and reactions, we can learn to respond with intention rather than reflex. In practice, this means acknowledging the initial flash of emotion, a natural human reaction, without letting it dictate our behavior. Imagine receiving harsh criticism at work. The immediate instinct might be to defend oneself or retaliate. However, by embracing a Stoic mindset, we can pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with our values and long-term goals. This mindful approach transforms not only our interactions with others, but also how we perceive ourselves. By taking control of our responses, we reinforce our autonomy and strengthen our character. In moments where anger or fear might arise, choosing patience or understanding fosters resilience. Over time, this practice cultivates a more stable and peaceful inner life. To put this into perspective, consider athletes often facing high-pressure situations where emotions run high. Tennis legend Arthur Ashe, though not a Stoic by title, exemplified Stoic principles on the court. Known for his calm demeanor, Ashe would choose to respond thoughtfully, even in tense matches. His ability to remain composed under pressure turned potential frustration into constructive focus, showcasing the power of deliberate response. Moreover, choosing responses wisely is a practice that enhances personal relationships. In moments of disagreement or conflict, opting for empathy over defensiveness can mend and strengthen bonds. This conscious choice to understand rather than react harshly prevents misunderstandings and fosters deeper connections. To develop this skill, the Stoics recommend starting with small, everyday situations. Practice pausing before reacting to minor irritations, a delayed train, a spilled coffee, an unexpected criticism. In these moments, ask yourself, what is the best possible response? How does this align with who I want to be? This simple practice builds the muscle of mindful response, preparing you for more significant challenges. Additionally, incorporating Stoic exercises such as premeditatio malorum, where you anticipate possible obstacles and consider your potential responses, can enhance your ability to choose wisely. Reflective journaling also serves as a valuable tool, allowing you to review your responses and understand where improvements can be made. In sum, the Stoic emphasis on choosing responses deliberately rather than reacting impulsively is a transformative practice. By embracing the power of choice as guided by Epictetus's teachings, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and intention. This approach not only enriches our personal growth but also fosters a life of virtue and fulfillment. As we sharpen our ability to choose wisely, we step closer to the Stoic ideal of living a life governed by reason and aligned with our highest values. In the heart of ancient Athens, a group of Stoics gathers in the courtyard of a modest home. The air is filled with the soft murmur of discussion, punctuated by the occasional sound of laughter and spirited debate. These meetings, often informal but profoundly impactful, are a testament to the power of community in the Stoic tradition. It's here that they come together to exchange ideas, share experiences, and offer support as they navigate the challenges of life, including the sting of criticism. One might wonder, how does a community rooted in Stoicism help its members handle criticism more effectively? In these gatherings, participants engage in shared practices that are designed to fortify the Stoic virtues and build resilience against the trials of life, including criticism. Through this collective journey, each member finds strength not only in their individual practice but also in the communal bonds that form as a result. Historically, the Stoics understood that while inner strength is crucial, the support of a like-minded community can enhance one's ability to apply Stoic principles effectively. One exemplary historical figure, Musonius Rufus, a noted Stoic philosopher and teacher, emphasized the importance of communal learning. He often gathered students in informal settings, championing discussions on ethics and virtue. These sessions were not merely lectures but interactive exchanges where individuals could seek advice and share their encounters with criticism openly. The power of a Stoic community lies in its ability to provide a safe space for reflection and growth. Members can share personal experiences of criticism without fear of judgment, knowing they are among peers who value understanding and empathy. This communal environment fosters resilience by allowing individuals to see their struggles reflected in others, normalizing the experience of criticism as a part of the human condition rather than an isolated failure. Moreover, these gatherings often involve the practice of Stoic exercises, such as role-playing scenarios to prepare for potential criticisms, or collectively analyzing famous Stoic texts that offer wisdom on handling adversity. Engaging in these shared practices helps embed the teachings more deeply, turning abstract principles into lived experiences. Another aspect of the Stoic community is the feedback loop it creates. By receiving constructive feedback from fellow Stoics who are practicing the same principles, individuals learn to discern valuable insights from noise. This type of community-based critique is more likely to be aligned with Stoic ideals, encouraging growth and improvement rather than judgment. Additionally, the communal element reinforces accountability. Knowing that others are on the same path encourages individuals to adhere more strictly to Stoic principles, as there is mutual encouragement to remain true to the course. This shared commitment enhances each member's resolve to face criticism with courage and understanding, rather than succumbing to negative emotions. Fast forward to today, and the spirit of these gatherings can be seen in modern Stoic communities, both online and offline. Stoic forums and groups provide platforms for individuals to connect, share, and support one another in living a Stoic life. These modern assemblies continue the tradition of strengthening each member's resilience through shared learning and communal support. In conclusion, the role of a Stoic community in handling criticism is one of mutual reinforcement and shared growth. By coming together in the pursuit of wisdom and virtue, Stoics are better equipped to withstand the criticisms of the world. These communal bonds not only fortify individual resilience but also cultivate a network of support that mirrors the teachings of the ancient Stoics, reminding us that we are not alone in our quest for a life aligned with our highest values. In the midst of a bustling Roman forum, imagine a Stoic philosopher standing calmly as a heated debate unfolds around him. His name is Cato the Younger, renowned for his steadfast adherence to Stoic principles. Engaged in a political discourse, Cato listens patiently as criticism is directed his way. Yet, rather than responding with words, he chooses to remain silent. This choice, baffling to many, is a deliberate and calculated decision, embodying the Stoic understanding of silence as a powerful tool in the face of criticism. Cato's choice of silence isn't born from passivity or lack of defense. Instead, it's a strategic decision rooted in Stoicism's core tenets. By choosing silence, Cato demonstrates mastery over his emotions, refusing to be baited into a reactive state by external provocation. This non-response is not an admission of defeat but a profound assertion of self-control, reflecting the Stoic belief that true power lies within one's response to external events. Silence, as practiced by the Stoics, is a form of eloquence. In the writings of Marcus Aurelius, we see this echoed in his advice to be indifferent to what makes no difference. By employing silence, a Stoic like Cato effectively separates himself from the emotional upheaval criticism can incite, choosing instead to focus on maintaining inner tranquility. This deliberate choice to remain silent allows the Stoic to assess the situation more objectively, reinforcing control over one's mind and reactions. The power of silence is further illustrated in the teachings of Epictetus. He often emphasized the importance of aligning one's responses with nature and reason. When faced with baseless or emotional criticism, Epictetus believed that a dignified silence could speak volumes. A refusal to engage in futile exchanges preserves one's dignity and composure. He would argue, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid, suggesting that sometimes the wisest response is no response at all. Consider the modern-day scenario of heated exchanges on social media platforms, where comments can quickly escalate into arguments. In such environments, the choice of silence can be a strategic act of self-preservation. By choosing not to engage, individuals protect their emotional well-being and avoid the tendency to react impulsively. Like Cato, they demonstrate restraint and self-discipline, allowing criticism to pass them by without disruption. However, it's important to understand that the Stoic use of silence is not universally applicable to all situations. there are moments when voicing one's thoughts is necessary, especially when justice or truth are at stake. Yet, in instances where critique comes from a place of misunderstanding or malice, silence serves as an effective shield, maintaining one's peace and integrity. Moreover, silence can also be a precursor to reflection. By choosing non-response, the Stoic allows space for introspection, asking whether the criticism holds any truth and how it aligns with personal values and growth. This reflective silence transforms potential conflict into an opportunity for self-improvement. Ultimately, the Stoic choice of silence in the face of criticism exemplifies a deep commitment to inner virtue and peace. It's a reminder that words once spoken cannot be retracted, and that sometimes the most powerful statement is the absence of one. This strategic non-response reveals the profound strength found in restraint, echoing through the ages as a timeless testament to the enduring wisdom of Stoic philosophy. By embracing the power of silence, we align ourselves with the Stoic quest for serenity and self-mastery, navigating life's challenges with grace and intentionality. Picture this: you've just received a piece of feedback that hits you like a bolt of lightning. Your immediate reaction might be emotional, perhaps feeling anger, defensiveness, or even frustration. It's a scenario many of us are familiar with, where emotional evaluation takes the wheel, leading our thoughts and actions. But what if there was another way, a method to assess criticism with the calmness of a seasoned philosopher rather than the heat of a reactive tempest? In the Stoic tradition, the emphasis is placed on evaluating feedback through a rational lens, balancing emotion with reason. This approach begins with a conscious choice to step back from our initial emotional responses. While emotions are natural and often arise unbidden, the Stoics teach us that we are capable of choosing how to process these emotions, transforming them from reactive impulses to informed, rational evaluations. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, provides invaluable insight into this process. He continuously emphasized the power of rationality as a means to maintain clarity and objectivity. In his personal reflections, known as Meditations, Marcus advised himself to remove the judgment, indicating the practice of separating our perceptions and biases from the reality of a situation. This separation is crucial when it comes to evaluating feedback objectively. To employ this Stoic method, begin by acknowledging your emotional response without judgment. Imagine placing that initial surge of emotion on a mental shelf, allowing it to exist but not dominate your state of mind. This act of acknowledgement creates a space for rationality to emerge, giving you the moment you need to assess feedback more clearly. Next, engage in critical questioning about the feedback you received. Consider its source. Is it someone whose opinion you value or trust? Is the feedback specific and actionable, or is it vague and emotionally charged? Analyzing these aspects can help determine the validity and usefulness of the criticism. Marcus Aurelius would often reflect on the intentions behind words, seeking to understand before reacting. This reflection aids in dissecting feedback objectively, stripping away emotional layers to reveal its core value. Furthermore, apply the Stoic practice of considering different perspectives. Visualize yourself as an impartial observer looking at the situation. What might someone detached from the emotional stakes see or advise? This exercise, akin to putting on a different pair of glasses, helps in reframing the feedback, enhancing objectivity. Another powerful Stoic technique is to disentangle the feedback from personal identity. It's essential to remember that criticism often addresses actions or outcomes rather than your inherent worth as a person. This distinction prevents emotional entanglement, allowing you to treat feedback as information rather than a personal attack. To illustrate, imagine a scenario where your manager critiques your presentation skills. The emotional reaction might focus on feelings of inadequacy. However, by applying Stoic methods, you shift to evaluating the feedback's content. Is there truth in the critique? How can you use it to improve your public speaking abilities? This rational evaluation transforms feedback into an opportunity for growth rather than a source of distress. In conclusion, Stoicism provides a structured approach to evaluating feedback with equanimity and clarity. By consciously balancing emotion with reason, as Marcus Aurelius advised, we not only enhance our decision-making but also fortify our emotional resilience. This practice not only aids in personal development but also aligns with the Stoic pursuit of living a life governed by wisdom and virtue, leading to deeper fulfillment and peace. Let's delve into the story of a young philosopher named Lucius living in ancient Rome. Every day, Lucius would walk to the bustling forum, a marketplace not just of goods but of ideas and opinions. One morning, as he perused the stalls, he overheard two merchants loudly discussing his recent public speech, critiquing his ideas with fervor. At first, Lucius felt a flash of indignation, his ego bruised by their harsh words. However, recalling the teachings of Seneca, his mentor, Lucius chose to pause and consider the motives behind their criticism. Rather than reacting with anger, he decided to extend compassion towards his critics. Developing compassion for those who criticize us is a powerful Stoic practice, one that Seneca advocated for deeply. This approach involves understanding that criticism often reflects more about the critic than the criticized. In his writings, Seneca emphasizes the importance of recognizing our shared human nature, our flaws, our struggles, and our intrinsic desire for understanding and connection. He writes, "Show me a person who is not a slave. One is a slave to lust, another to greed, another to ambition." This reflects the Stoic view that we are all bound by our passions and imperfections, and often these are what drive people to criticize others. By cultivating compassion, we transform criticism into an opportunity for empathy rather than conflict. Consider, for example, a colleague who tends to criticize your work. Instead of perceiving their feedback as a personal attack, attempt to view it through a lens of understanding. What pressures might they be under? Could their criticism stem from their own insecurities or frustrations? Seneca would suggest that by exploring these questions, we uncover a deeper understanding that allows for patience and empathy. Seneca's teachings encourage us to see critics as fellow humans, often driven by insecurities, misunderstandings, or past experiences. By acknowledging the humanity in those who criticize us, we soften the emotional blow of their words and open the door to constructive dialogue. This shift in perspective doesn't mean accepting all criticism as valid, but it nurtures a mindset that seeks to understand rather than retaliate. Take the example of a teacher receiving harsh feedback from a student. Initial reactions might include defensiveness or disappointment. However, by exploring the student's possible motives, perhaps they are struggling academically or facing pressures at home, the teacher can respond with compassion. This understanding can lead to a more productive conversation, turning criticism into a bridge for communication and growth rather than a barrier. Moreover, practicing compassion aligns with the Stoic virtue of justice. It embodies the idea of treating others fairly and with respect, even when they challenge us. By responding to critics with empathy, we foster healthier relationships and a more harmonious environment, be it in personal or professional settings. To cultivate this compassion consistently, consider integrating self-reflective practices into your daily routine. Reflect on past instances where criticism stirred negative emotions. How might compassion have altered your response? Journaling about these experiences can provide valuable insights into the dynamics of criticism and empathy. In conclusion, the Stoic practice of developing compassion for critics transforms how we perceive and react to criticism. Inspired by Seneca's teachings on human nature, This approach nurtures empathy and understanding, leading to more harmonious interactions. By embracing compassion, we not only enrich our relationships but also strengthen our character, aligning ourselves with the Stoic ideals of wisdom, courage, and justice. In doing so, we turn potential conflicts into opportunities for deeper connection and mutual growth. As we conclude this exploration into the Stoic approach for handling criticism and judgment, let's take a moment to distill the timeless wisdom we've uncovered. Stoicism, with its rich philosophical heritage, provides us with a toolkit for navigating the often turbulent waters of criticism and judgment with grace and composure. First, we discussed the principle of detachment. The Stoics teach us to distinguish between what lies within our control and what does not. Criticism, often residing in the latter category, becomes a fleeting cloud, something we observe without internalizing. By practicing cognitive detachment, we learn to maintain our peace of mind, choosing our responses rather than reacting impulsively. Next, we touched upon resilience, an unwavering pillar of Stoic philosophy. Resilience is not simply enduring hardship but transforming it into growth. In the face of criticism, the Stoics urge us to view challenges as opportunities to strengthen our character, much like a tempered blade that is sharpened through use. This mindset allows us to turn criticisms into valuable insights, propelling us forward on our path to self-improvement. Virtue also plays a crucial role in the Stoic arsenal against judgment. By living in accordance with virtues such as wisdom, courage, and justice, we anchor ourselves in a moral framework that guides our actions and responses. Criticism becomes less daunting when we are certain of our values and committed to living by them. It is through virtue that we find the strength to remain true to ourselves, regardless of external opinions. As a parting thought, consider the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound insight reminds us that every obstacle, including criticism, presents an opportunity for growth and transformation. By embracing the challenges we face, we unlock the potential for personal development and wisdom. Now, I invite you to reflect on how these Stoic insights can be woven into the fabric of your own life. How might you detach from external judgments, build resilience, and nurture your virtues in the face of criticism? These principles are not just philosophical musings, but practical guides for leading a more centered and fulfilling life. Lastly, I encourage you to engage with our community, where we can support each other's journeys in applying Stoic wisdom to modern challenges. Share your experiences, learn from the insights of others, and join us in building a network of individuals dedicated to living virtuously. Together, we can transform criticism into a powerful catalyst for growth. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and may the wisdom of the Stoics light the path ahead.